it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Howe.
I've been asleep for far too long, slumbering through life, fear to open my eyes, blinded by the night, awakening the past, memories I hide. Time it waits for no one, heaven
Ladies and gentlemen, heavy metal singer, songwriter David Reece is on the program.
Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
I appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
No problem. So what's going on? How's the tour going?
We're not touring yet. I start Wednesday. I actually am going to front a group called John Steele. It's Doogie White's other band in Sofia, Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. I will play with Hammerfall.
Okay.
And then I come home Saturday, and we go into rehearsals for Reece Solo, which begins the 31st of October. Nice. And goes all the way through to the end of November. So, pretty busy boy lately.
That's cool. A buddy of mine, he wanted me to ask you a question. He says he's a big fan of yours as well. And he wanted to know, like, growing up, who were you listening to? Who made you want to be a singer in a band? Like, who were your influences?
Originally, I was a country music guy.
Wow.
When I was a boy. Yeah, I grew up in Oklahoma. And I listened to people like Conway Twitty and Charlie Pride and singers like that, George Jones, and I always sang along to that stuff. But when I got older, the rock thing was, no, I wouldn't say the Beatles. You know, everybody knew who they were, but the heavy stuff was, Deep Purple, Alice Cooper.
Nice.
Bands like Foghat, actually, Yeah. I'll step out on a limb and even go Peter Frampton. I think Peter Frampton was my first live concert I ever saw in 1975 with Jay Giles opening for them.
Oh, sounds like a cool show.
It was amazing, man. I mean, that's when I got the bug. They turned off the lights, the auditorium, and all the people cheering, and it was just magic. The whole environment, everybody enjoying it. I mean, I knew right then that's what I wanted to do.
When did you get your big break? When was that big moment for you?
Well, I actually had, I was in a really well-known local rock band in the Midwest out of Minneapolis called Dare Force. Mm-hmm. And we did a lot of opening slots for the big bands. That was like early 80s, 80 to 83. So I was pretty lucky there. We were the kind of like the big draw back in those days. You could play 7 nights a week, 4 hours a night, and I mean, month after month. So I got my, my work boots on in that beginning, touring Canada and the United States. But the first big break would be obviously Accept, I'd gone to California and met, so-called famous people, but I made a demo tape with Mitch Perry, the guitar player. He played with Talus.
Okay.
And later he went on to play with Schenker and a few other guys, but I had made a demo with him and it got in the right hands and I got the audition for Accept.
That's pretty cool. And there was a woman that actually helped you out with that, right?
Yes, there was. There was.
She handed a tape over to somebody?
Yeah. Dieter Dirks, the infamous producer of the Scorpions, was having an affair with her. Her name was Lucy Forbes. She had this little weird kind of thing called Rock Congress. It was kind of a rock and roll placement agency.
Uh-huh.
A really weird concept, but it was nice and everything because if you were hungry and you needed a place to sleep, you could stay at Lucy's house.
Nice.
So all of us were homeless anyways in those days. So I ended up sleeping on her living room floor because she had if you're in Santa Monica, California on the beach, it's cold at night. So she let me come in and stay there. So I was sleeping in front of this kind of fake gas fireplace on the floor with a rolled up shirt and a blanket. And I had one day decided this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. And I had made the demo with Mitch and left it with her. I just said, here, have all my life. I don't want to do this anymore. And Dirks apparently had flown in a few weeks later and I had gone to Colorado. And he says, basically, we're desperate. We tried this other guy from England named Robert. He's not working out. I need a singer for Accept. And he said, listen to this guy. And she played the cassette. And he said, that's the voice I need. How can I find him? She said, well, I don't know. Well, somehow they tracked me down in Colorado. And one night the phone rang and it was Wolf Hoffman. And it's a true story. I mean, I answered the phone hello, it's Wolf Hoffman from Accept. And I said, what? It's Wolf from Accept. And I said, yeah, I'm Mickey Mouse. And I hung up. I mean, I thought it was a prank phone call.
Well,
And then he called me back like 2 minutes later saying, we probably have a bad connection. It's Wolf, and I've got your demo tape with blah, blah, blah songs. I'm like, how in the hell did you get that? And because I only had the one copy. And he said, we really like it. You want to come over and audition? I said, yeah, cut my arm off. Let's go.
And then you were with them for what, 2 years almost?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I love that album. Most of my friends do as well. I mean, they think it's as good as any of the ones that Udo did.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's really funny because when it came out, I was the Antichrist and I was also loved. It was a love-hate thing. Mm-hmm. The old fans hated my guts. Some of the old fans loved me, but the new fans really loved it because they weren't really familiar in the States with Accept. So, it was kind of a new band.
Right.
But the European guys hated me. They hated the band for making the change. Because over here, I live in Italy. And in Europe, you grow up with a band, you stay loyal till death, basically. That's the good thing about Europe. I mean, they stay with the band until the end of time, So I don't know if we're going to get into this part of the conversation, but I'm really good friends with Graham Bonnet's manager. Mm-hmm. And he's been bothering me for years to do an Eat the Heat tour, kind of a dedication to the album. Because, right. I mean, I toured with Accept maybe 50 shows total. Mm-hmm. So, and I never really wanted to like rewaken up that monster of my life. But every show I did when I was in Bonfire and bands before that, somebody would come to me with that album after the gig and ask me to autograph it and say, when this came out, I hated it, but now I love it. Okay, we're talking 28 years later, right?
Wow.
So, I mean, every night I play, somebody wants me to autograph. So I decided to do the Eat the Heat shows. And lo and behold, it literally kicked open hundreds of doors for me. And so I started doing that. So, yeah, it was a good choice. Giles was right, the manager of Bonnet, because he said, you never really gave that album, what it deserves. It's a great album. Go on and tour it. And I can still sing that stuff. So why not? What the hell? Let's try it. And it worked. How
many shows have you done so far with that?
Probably 10.
Oh, that's great.
I started in Barcelona in March. It was this year, yeah. Barcelona, did some Spanish gigs. I headlined a big festival in Italy where I played all of that. And then I played 3 songs off my new solo album. Mm-hmm. And we actually filmed one of my songs, Anytime at All, the first video from Reece at that show. So it was, what kind of a break is that? I've got a new album coming out. I'm supposed to be playing in front of the Dead Daisies. Mm-hmm. The Dead Daisies cancel. They have to play in Australia and they can't make it. So the promoter said, hey, can you headline? I said, oh, of course. So it was a great opportunity. So we played Eat the Heat, and then I think we played 3 new Reece songs.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, that's kind of almost like, like what David Coverdale did when he did the Purple songs over with Whitesnake in a way,
Yeah.
And it was very successful, for him too. So I could see why you'd want to do it. I mean, it's a great album, and you're introducing younger fans to your older stuff, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for that album. That album put me on the map. I mean, today it's sold over 1 million records and around the world, and it's people associate my name with that, good or bad. But that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a great album. I think it's one of those albums that didn't get all the props that it deserves.
A lot of it was they really weren't ready to make that change. It was, deep down in their heart, they were talked into it by the record companies because they would get close to gold status, like with Balls of the Wall and Russian Roulette, Metal Heart, but it hit touch about 350,000 records, and it never quite hit gold. Mm-hmm. In America. So basically the heat from the big shots in the U.S. and New York said, get a English speaking guy, let's expand the horizon. You're almost there, and let's make this a platinum explosion. And it really didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And deep down in their heart, they weren't ready for it. I'm an American guy, the cultural differences. We had a lot of obstacles in the beginning, and their fear of changing after 10 years with Udo, You know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, but Mark is American, isn't he?
Yeah, well, they've learned how to that it is what it takes, you know, and it's lasted for 10 years with Mark.
Right. I mean, but maybe it's the issue is they're trying to continue on a sound that they started. They're not adapting to change, and I don't necessarily think that that's always the solution. I mean, Van Halen didn't find a guy that sounded like David Lee Roth, and they were pretty successful with Sammy. I mean, you know, it's not the same sound, but I mean, you don't know unless you try, you know.
I mean, I thought I'm a Roth fanatic. I mean, I think he's one of the greatest that ever lived, but it worked. I mean, they had #1 albums that they never had before with Sammy. Sammy brought a different kind of element to the group. I really do think that Mark Tornillo is closer to Udo than you could, you know, that's what they needed to do to be relevant. They tried getting Udo back. Udo, it didn't work out. And so they have that sound. That's what their fans expect from them. And, you know, it's working for Mark. I mean, and except you have to tailor yourself. I mean, it's a unit that's run by Wolf and his wife, Gabby. And if you rock the boat or speak your mind, you're out. And, that's kind of what I did. I wanted to take, I regret some of the things I did, but, you know, I spoke my mind and how I wanted the direction of the band. And Wolf is basically the leader of the band. And once you push that into a corner, you're out. So, yeah, I mean, Mark probably knows how to toe the line and keep his mouth shut. And he's playing in front of huge crowds. So good for him.
Right. Yeah, whatever works, to each his own, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Rock and roll.
Yep. Can you talk a little bit about the new album that's coming out, Resilient Heart, on November 9th, right? November 9th?
Yes, it is. I'd love to. I've spent my life, a career trying to be a band guy, and I was in Bonfire for a few years. I did some records with those guys, toured about 300 or 400 shows with them, and it ended badly. But in 2015, I was writing new songs after Glorious was done. And that album actually came out at the same time as the Purple album by Whitesnake. And we were chasing them around in sales. We sold really well. I mean, we weren't that far behind Coverdale. So the album had great success. And I was starting to become kind of bored because I sometimes resemble Coverdale, I'm told.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's a great compliment, but I'm more of a Paul Rogers guy. I love him, but I do get compared to him and stuff. And, you know, the songs that I write, somehow that influence comes out a lot of times, it seems. And I was in Montana for a little while, and I started thinking, what am I going to do? Should we become more modern, you know, heavier again? And because, I've had done the Accept Eat the Heat reunion stuff, and I literally wrote the song Karma in the bathroom.
Nice.
And some of my greatest thinking comes to me on the toilet. Well, anyways, I had been working on the side with a guy named Martin Frank, who's in a band called Shotgun Revolution. And I liked his writing style a lot. And it just clicked me and him. And I wrote 2 or 3 songs with him, and I went, this is not good for Bonfire. So I kind of kept it to myself, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make a solo album soon. So I started compiling ideas, blah, blah, blah. Then Martin decided he was going to move on and not be with his label, which was going to give me a solo deal, which I actually have with him now. So he walked out, and then I was in the middle of this. I'm kind of giving you my story, how it started, if you don't mind.
No, but by all means.
I freaked out because I had something really good going. I love the song Karma, 2 Coins and a Dead Man. I said, this is really, because I originally had shopped those songs to other labels, and I got an answer once from a major label saying, I don't know what it is. It's not, you know, David Reece that I'm used to, but it's modern. It's in between the chairs. And I said, thank God you said that. I've reached something new, fresh, heavy. I'm glad you think that. Well, we're afraid to sign it because we're not sure how to sell it. Well, then I asked Mike Tramp from, Mike Tramp, White Lion guy, and I said, are you happy with your label? He said, yeah, give them a call. I called them, and they signed me over the phone, basically. So anyways, long story short, Martin Frank had walked out on the whole thing with Mighty Music, And I was kind of standing there with my dick swinging in the wind going, what am I going to do now? And Michael Anderson, the president, said, well, I've got these other guys, but let me send you some songs. And every demo that he sent me it sounded like rejects from Danish or Swedish bands from demos. It was horrible. Had no comparison. He was just throwing songs at me because he wanted me to finish the album. I said, this isn't working. I want this template. This direction is where Reece is going. Well, he goes, I got this guy named Marco Angioni. He's a producer at Death Island Studios. He's a songwriter, plays in another band. I'll put you two in contact. Well, we did. I was expecting the worst. I said, send me some stuff, music. I'll write some lyrics to it if I can. He sent me, the first song was Wicked City Blues.
Love that
Originally, thank you. Originally, it was called Windy City Blues because I'd been in Chicago many times when the wind's howling up my ass and it's cold and it's not a pleasant experience. I'm alone. I got no money, I got nowhere to go. And it just kind of was that story. And then it turned into Wicked City Blues. So I said, wow, we kind of have something here. And then I think we wrote, I don't even remember the second one we wrote. But anyways, I wanted a double guitar band. And he mentioned Martin Jepsen Anderson. So he sent me a couple of tracks that all just seemed kind of to go with the song Karma and Two Coins. So that's how that worked out. And then I kept the bassist from Sainted Sinners, Malte Frederick Burkett, because I toured with Malte all over Europe, and I love the guy dearly. He's got the star image. He can play his ass off. Him and I do Ian Pace shows together. He's just the right bass player for me. The guy on the album is named Philip Meese. Now, Philip finished this album. I mean, he's one of the greatest drummers that I've ever played with. I did a couple gigs with him in Sweden, and then when we went home and he called me one night, he said, you know what? I don't want to play rock. I want to play jazz.
Wow.
And I went, what are you talking about? He goes, you know what? My heart's in jazz. I'm going to do that. I'm sorry. And I was kind of left going, okay, now what do I do? So Martin and Marco referred Sigurd to play drums live with me. So now I've got another drummer. But that sums up how it all happened. It basically, being solo, I have the idea of what I want to do, because I think bullshit is democracy in a band. There is no such thing. I mean, I don't care. You could have a bunch of guys who agree, to rock together, but somebody has to pilot the ship. And you can't have 4 or 5 guys trying to pull it in every different direction. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't have a guitar player. You can't, and a singer who, typically it's the singer and guitar player that are out front, right? So if those 2 guys are butting heads and it's one wants this and the other wants that, it's not going to go anywhere. You can kind of act. I call it acting as if it's working, you're not happy, but you're doing it, right?
Right.
This way, I can I'm a very diplomatic person. I mean, if a person doesn't like something that I work with, I'll hear them out. And if it's reasonable, I'll say, yeah, you're right. We won't do that. But I'm in control of what I want to do, my destiny. And I feel like I can take a deep breath now. And I really think Resilient Heart is probably one of my best albums I've ever done. And I'm not just saying that because it's my album. I mean, I can actually listen from start to finish. And when I started writing the album, I knew I had something. And when I started recording it, typically when I'm recording an album, when a song is coming up and you're kind of going, this one's kind of a stinker. I hope it works. You get in the studio, you sing it, but you really don't feel it. I actually felt every song on the album, down to the artwork. Everything on the album just kind of worked this time.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Soren sent me over that copy, the download to listen to, and every song, all 12 of them are awesome, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And it all happened really fast. I mean, once I hooked up with Marco and Martin Jepsen, after they heard Two Coins and Karma, I mean, I think we finished those 12, 13 songs in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. Now, what's your favorite song on that album and why?
I get asked that all the time. And, you know what? I like the album a lot. So, actually, I love it, but it varies. I love Two Coins and a Dead Man. I love Desire. I'm a big fan of Wicked City Blues. I love the ballad Forest Through the Trees, which I wrote with actually Alessandro Del Vecchio he and I had played a show in Bulgaria with Ian Pace, and we're driving down this mountain highway in the middle of nowhere. And he had heard the demos for my album, saying, "This stuff is amazing, Dave. We should sign it to Frontiers." Well, they passed on it, but I said, "I need a ballad. I'm missing a ballad. And I'm not a very good instrumentalist. I'm just a singer, you know." So he said, "Well, I have this song, and I think Johnny Gioeli wasn't interested in it. Why don't I send it to you?" And he sent it, and literally the lyric "Forest Through the Trees" set right exactly on that song. And I said, I cut it in 2 takes, like 2 days later.
Nice.
I went in and did it. Then I sent it all over to the band, so they basically played around it, you know, erased the music tracks and played live drums and musical parts, made the nice Pink Floyd guitar solo middle and all that stuff. I love it. I like I'm the One. It's about a serial killer.
Nice.
The really heavy one. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek about a guy who sneaks around killing people.
Okay.
I actually had it in my mind for about 5 years. I'd recorded it under a different title, but this is how it's kind of come out.
That's cool.
But
So
those are, you know, I like all of them. I mean, which one is it for you?
I love Forest Through the Trees. That's one of my favorite ones. And
Nice.
I also like karma, because I believe in karma.
Me too.
Those who do good will have good things happen to them, and those who try to fuck people over will get karma. Well, they'll meet karma.
Exactly. That's what I said, man. When I wrote the song, I had just been fired from Bonfire, and there was a lot of bad blood that continues to this day. And the anger from that, and the realization that I'm a good person. I treated everybody well. My friends turned their back on me. My wife is Italian, and they're really big on karma. And they say, "Wait by the river; the bodies will float by."
That's a
Same
good
thing.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, that's what they say, and she's absolutely right. So Karma was basically written about Hans Ziller, the guitar player in Bonfire. It started that way.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Any plans to come back to the U.S. at any point and do some shows here?
I was going to do Rock and Skull. Maybe you heard about that. I was going to do it with a U.S. band, do Eat the Heat on the 26th of October. But and when I finally got my plane tickets from them, it literally was a 38-hour flight, and the layovers were 15 hours, and I have to go do 4 nights in a row in Spain. I couldn't physically do it, so I pulled out. Now I have talked to bookers on the East Coast and in Canada. And I always seem to get like this smoldering interest, but nothing has really panned out. I mean, it depends on how many people I can put in a room and you know, if I can jump on another tour. But right now, there's nothing really happening.
Yeah, but you know what? You're doing well over there, so it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm doing good, but I want to do better. I mean, everybody wants more shows. I mean, it's actually part of the business now that really bothers me is hard rock and rock and roll is a very small community and a small piece of pie that's left for rock and roll. So everybody's fighting over the small crumbs. The competition has turned really bad, especially here too. I know that a lot of club owners are like, you know, they want to get at least 100 guys in the club, right? So if they can get a local band for free that'll play for the door or without the door, they can guarantee 100 to 200 heads. Why would they give a named guy for a fee the same room on a weekend when they can get local, really good young bands to play? So we're dealing with that too. You know, there's all kinds of dynamics that's happening right now over here. I mean, Germany's a very strong market, Italy, you know, Scandinavia. So we're fortunate. But I mean, it's every month it seems the rope is getting a little tighter. You know, you got to put over 50 people in a room to get anybody to pay attention. If the club owner's making money or the theater, they're going to have you back. Business.
Yeah.
You know.
And the record you said comes out on November 9th, right? It's available on your website, correct?
It is, but basically I prefer going to Mighty Music, Amazon, all the stores, and over here in Europe, nobody. Are you all strictly a U.S. station? Is that where you're based out of?
I'm online, so I'm all over the world.
Yeah, well, it's at all the ordering sites available, and even the big department stores over here in Europe. So, I think, directly from my label or wherever, but I don't sell it personally from my site, no.
And it'll also be available on vinyl as well, right?
Yeah, we did a limited 500 Blood Red, and we did a different running order on that, so to make it interesting. And I heard the other day that it's nearly sold out. We may repress another 500, so that's good news.
Where can I order that? Same thing, like Amazon and stuff?
Yeah. Yep, and Target. I would Target .dk, Denmark, Target or Mighty Music, they have them. I heard that whole look and the way we ran the running order and everything was really interesting. A lot of people are actually buying the CD and the vinyl for the collection. So
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I play a lot of vinyl, so
nice.
It's
beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Looking forward to picking up a copy. I'm glad you told me that they're almost gone because I'm gonna order one today, I believe.
Cool, do it, because I was literally told that a couple days ago. We're gonna spike another repress. So.
And everything, as far as tour dates and everything like that, that is on your website, though, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it is. Everything is up to date constantly, and I've got cool swag. If they come to my site, a lot of times with my brand, I'll post shirts and T-shirts. I actually have a bunch of authentic 1989 release Eat the Heat vinyls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've got like 12 left that when I go to Spain, I know that I'm going to sell them like hotcakes. I mean, those things sell insanely, and I've got like 100 remastered Eat the Heat CDs that I also carry along. So I always got something to sell.
Cool. So it's davidreeceofficial.com, right?
Correct. And then there's Reece Inc. And then there's David Reece Official. There's two David Reece Officials. www.davidreeceofficial.com, and then there's David Reece Official. Reece Inc., David and Nadia Reece, my wife's name. You can find me everywhere. I'm all over the place.
Cool. Well, thanks for taking time out to chat with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're cool, man. It was nice talking to you, and thank you for the compliment on the album. And please stay in touch because, I'm working on another album, and there's all kinds of stuff always going on, and I'll keep you updated.
Will do, sir. You enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, brother. Thank you for the interview.
All right. You're welcome. Take care.
Yeah, karma, brother. Stay tough.
You got that right.
Ciao, man.
Ciao.
Ciao.